short track racing under the lights.
It's the most exciting track on the circuit.
It's all about slipping, sliding, racing, and rubbing.
So I don't think I've ever seen a dull race at this racetrack.
How hungry do you think Tony Stewart is? Jimmy is not going to give it to him, but he wants these 10 points real bad.
Jimmy Johnson comes down and wins it at Richmond.
Come on, bring her home, Junebug. I believe you got yourself one there, buddy. Gonna stay up late tonight. Here comes Harvick, 3 wide, up the inside. Kevin Harvick with a spectacular move takes the lead away. Kevin Harvick with a masterful move.
Tony Stewart wins at Richmond International Raceway. Becomes the first rookie in Winston Cup racing to win since Davey Allison. Checkered flag goes to Denny Hamlin.
Good job. Good job. Happy for you.
Finally!
At the line, Rusty Wallace records his second victory of 1989.
Kurt Busch wins at Richmond.
Way to go, boys.
Gordon heads for the inside, coming off corner number 2, down the backstretch. Jeff Gordon pulls alongside, but Gordon inches ahead as they move through the third and fourth corners. They're coming to the line for the win. It is Jeff Gordon winning over Jeff Gordon. What a great race. Here's Waltrip, keeps it straight, but he keeps on tapping. Now Waltrip on the inside. Side by side. Down to the inside. Oh! 4 cars. There it goes.
There's Bodine into the fence. Joe Redmond spins around. Who's going to win the race? Where's Kyle Petty?
Caution is
Kyle
out.
Petty's going to win the race.
397. I think Kyle's going to take it home. Checkers are down. Kyle Petty has won it. His first Winston Cup victory. Wild finish here at Richmond.
There is well over 100,000 seats here at Richmond. They're all empty right now because they're all standing up. Look at them right here, though. Whoa, wide off turn 2. That can't work.
Way to do it, babe. That's the way to do it. Come on.
Side by side for the lead and the win here at Richmond. Fender out in front for Junior. Busch is there. They make contact. Junior goes around. Busch collects Junior. Junior pounds the outside wall in turn number 4. And Clint Bowyer comes out as the race leader with 2 laps to go.
Clint Bowyer's going to take it to the bank. He wins in Richmond.
What a wild night.
When you get down to 10 to go, you get inside that window, man. You take both gloves off.
And they will no doubt take both gloves off this weekend. What a great finish that was with Clint Bowyer in the right place at the right time. That was a great moment. I love Kyle Busch's quote afterwards because he said, I'm going to need security getting out of this place from Rick and Junior.
You know, so many great memories here at this racetrack. Even before they changed this and reconfigured it back in 1988-89, Rusty Wallace came up here and won that very first race here. How about Kyle Petty winning that race? I mean, that was no fluke. He was there. He was in the top 5. And, of course, Earnhardt, I guess he just sort of got into Darrell Waltrip and took him out. But we've had some terrific finishes here. They call it the action track, and they call it that for a reason. It has always been one of the favorite tracks for all of these drivers and teams to come to. And I think if you could design a perfect racetrack, it's Richmond.
Chances are, if you ask 10 drivers or fans, they will tell you that Richmond is at least among their favorite places to either race or to watch a race. Another driver who would like to join the ranks of the winners here at Richmond is standing by with Bob Dillner. Bob?
That's right, and remember, actually, Greg Biffle has won a truck race here at Richmond, but right now we're turning our focus to qualifying for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, and Greg Biffle and I have been looking at the sky, because right now it's very bright and sunny, beautiful blue skies, but there's some clouds overhead, and you're kind of hoping those clouds get here in a hurry.
Yeah, I am. It doesn't look like we're going to get a break. Maybe. I don't see the car yet either, so, 3 and Ford Fusion cars was really, really good in race trim. Really pretty happy with the car, but we switched to qualifying and, just couldn't get any speed out of it. It just chattered the front tires and wanted to spin the back. And, I don't know where the speed went. We just couldn't get it to go, but pretty happy with it in race trim, so I'm pretty excited for tomorrow night.
It sounds like there's a very delicate balance between race trim and qualifying trim. Why is that?
Just when you ask a lot out of the car for that one lap, you're airing the tires up and you're doing all those things, and you just want one fast lap out of the car versus a bunch. And you got all the front taped off, so you got a lot of downforce. You're trying to get that forward drive, and one little slip or one little spin you know, the time clock's ticking, and the times are just so close here. You got to have a perfect lap.
Always good talking to the Biff. He'll be going out near the top of the order, but he's hoping to put in a good qualifying lap, JR.
Bob, very interesting thing about the Biff. Not only did he re-sign for 3 years with Roush Fenway Racing recently, Randy, he's currently 16th in points, easily within reach of making that top 12 and running for the championship. If the Biff can win a Sprint Cup Series championship, he will be the first with that triple crown, a Truck Series championship, Nationwide, and Cup. And if anybody can get it done, it's certainly that number 16 team.
Yeah, wheelman. I mean, this guy is a flat-out driver. You don't win the Nationwide Series, you don't win a Truck Series, and possibly a Sprint Cup Series championship without being a wheelman, and he certainly could do it. Now, this racetrack for Greg Biffle has been a mixed bag. I mean, sometimes he goes sliding down the front stretch, you never can tell. Other times he has good runs, but he needs to get off the schneid and get himself a win, as do several drivers here, and they're hoping they can do that here tomorrow night.
They were a little bit down on the speed chart, but they're hoping to fix that in qualifying and also in race trim tomorrow night. Let's go back to Bob Dillner.
Really quickly want to catch up with David Gilliland here, because he came off his second top 10 run of the year at Talladega, and now you come to Richmond. You're up there on the speed charts for a while, but what is qualifying going to look like for you here?
I think our cars, our Gander Mountain Ford Fusion, is really good. It's I feel like it's the best we've been in a short track as an organization in probably 2 years. So I'm excited about it. I think we were top 10 in the first practice as far as consecutive 10-lap average, and we ended up 23rd in the second practice. So I'm excited. Peter and the boys got the car tuned up.
And he's got one of my favorite stores on his car, Gander Mountain, and free shipping if you order, actually, Johnny. So go ahead and do that.
Thanks, Bob. We'll get on that. So under NASCAR rules right now, Randy, the fastest cars will go out last. The fastest cars from practice of the 2 practice sessions will go out last. So therefore, you got some big names split up all over this qualifying order. And as the Biff was looking up towards the sky right now, there's some clouds out there. This track is going to get faster as the qualifying session goes on.
And if some clouds happen to correspond with the sun going down in the west, and it all comes together for you, and you roll out on that racetrack at the right time, the temperature of the track will certainly decrease significantly, and you might be able to hit that one magic moment and steal a pole here. And that's what the Biff wants to do, but he's going out early. It's going to hurt him.
This is going to be the 110th Sprint Cup Series race here at Richmond, and out of those 110, 1/5 have been won from the pole position, so that is a very good place to start. You also get the best pit selection as well. For Sprint Cup Series qualifying, let's go to Mike Joy.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying at Richmond International Raceway. 44 cars for 43 spots. They'll line up in the inverse of their practice order as we get ready to roll and see who will sit on the pole for tomorrow night's Crown Royal presents the Matthew and Daniel Hansen 400. No concerns about the weather. Didn't get very warm today, only about 75. The winds have picked up just a bit, and it remains partly cloudy as we are ready to go and ready to roll for the pole. Dale Earnhardt Jr. quickest in the first practice, Kevin Harvick quickest in the second practice, so they will go last among the 35 drivers locked into the field, and then 9 drivers vying for 8 spots in go or go home knockout qualifying. Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, Kyle Petty joins us for this one. We don't think the track record's in jeopardy, Brian Victor's track record. But
wasn't in practice, was it?
No, we were right in the last practice.
You fellas were correct. The second practice was not faster than the first, but only by what, 1/100th of a second.
Hey, it's still fast.
Well done.
Yeah, well done.
Well done. What do we expect here?
I don't know. You know, and there's been so much talk in the media center about tires today. They come with a little bit different tire. These guys, the racetrack, it's not been overly hot, but the sun's been on the racetrack. Now the racetrack's set again, as Larry said. Between the first and second practice, it's set. Now it's set again. I really don't believe the track record's in jeopardy, but I don't have a clue what the pole's going to be.
Well, I know watching NNS qualifying that just finished up a few minutes ago, the one thing that I noticed, and a couple of those drivers are going to be qualifying in their Cup car, Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin. Such a fine line here looking for that extra grip. Now, overdriving the car, Brad Keselowski just about took turn 1 and 2 wall down, just got it saved right before he hit the wall. Denny Hamlin was on the pole till coming off turn 4 and got up against the wall. So this is one of those tracks. How much grip is it going to have? Where do I step across the line? How far do I go with this qualifying effort?
And qualifying is very important here. 89% of the winners throughout Richmond's history have started in a top 10 spot. So we'll see how it goes, because pole position qualifying is coming at you right here on Speed.
Hi, this other store has these for 20 cents less. What?
Match it.
Match it. Match it.
Match it. Match it.
Match it.
20 cents less. What? Just match it.
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 Match it. Thank you. Got it. I'll match that price right here. Oh, cool.
We won't be beat. We have low prices every day on everything, backed by our Ad Match guarantee. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
You've reached the age where you don't back down from a challenge. This is the age of knowing how to make things happen. So why would you let something like erectile dysfunction get in your way? Isn't it time you talk to your doctor about Viagra? 20 million men already have. With every age comes responsibility. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor. See if America's most prescribed ED treatment is right for you.
So you think you can hang with us? Then you'll have to endure some bumper-to-bumper traffic. Deal with some tough customers getting up in your grill. And get into a few scrapes. And to those who don't expect us to go all out on every lap, we've got one word for you. Tough.
Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Richmond is brought to you by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Later this evening, Speed Event Alert. You've not seen Nationwide Series racing like you'll see it tonight. Rick Allen, DW, and Michael Walter bring you the NASCAR Nationwide Series race right here on Speed. Exclusive coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern. Qualifying getting ready to roll. First cars on the clock will be Robbie Gordon, Ken Schrader, Andy Lally, Greg Biffle, and Casey Kane. Robbie Gordon is promoting the movie Fast 5. It's the 5th in the Fast and Furious series, and the reviewers, including USA Today, say it's the best. Haven't seen the movie, but I see the trailer where they jump that Corvette Stingray Grand Sport Roadster out of a moving train out over a river, and they do the Butch Cassidy and Sundance dive out of the car. I want to go see that.
Well, excuse me, I think you could go see it with Robbie Gordon tomorrow here in Richmond.
Yeah, noontime. He's hosting a premiere at a theater here in Richmond. I believe all the lucky tickets have already been given out, but should be a lot of fun. A bunch of Dodge Chargers in the movie. That's why Robbie's involved. And if they drive as slideways as he does, it'll be a good show. 22 flat, 122.6 on the first lap.
So that's already a 1/10 and a half quicker than Robbie ran in practice. And normally here, Kyle, I mean, it depends on how much I think you get on lap 1, but you normally can pick up on lap 2.
You normally do. And you know, I don't know what these tires are. He comes in, he's 15/100ths faster. You look at it, I remember a couple of times up here, Jeff Gordon just rode around real slow on his first lap, threw it away totally to bust off a great second lap. So we have seen stuff like that here.
All right, here's Dick Bergman.
We're used to seeing Jimmy Johnson right at the top of all the speed charts, all 5-time. Today, though, 18th was the best on the 2 practice sessions. What's going on?
We're just working on some stuff. We ended up really happy. That second practice session, we stayed in race trim and actually ran our fastest lap, which isn't all that great going out 10th here, but I think it shows a lot for what we have in race trim. We're going to apply some of that stuff here to qualify and hopefully get a good lap. But I'm optimistic about the race stuff. We had a really, really strong final run, and I put it up against anyone. So I know when the green flag drops, will be good. We'll just have to get through today.
I'm pretty sure the green flag is the important part, too. Thank you.
Kenny Schrader Came here 6 times for Junie Donlevy, beginning in 1985. Moved over to Hendrick Motorsports, had a long career there. He's been here for 45 races. This will be his 46th. Driving for Frankie Stoddard in the number 32.
Pretty impressive.
Trucking, U.S. Chrome.
Pretty impressive first lap for Kenny Schrader, 21:46.
Really impressive.
That's a half a second from what he ran in practice.
21:40. 21:40 for Schrader. Well, that's quicker than anybody practiced earlier today.
One of the most exciting nights in all of motorsports.
It's a good night to get even with somebody.
The NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, Saturday, May 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
Look outside. It's grow time. So let's plant some perennials that'll turn up every year. Trees and shrubs to give us depth. And fill it out with flowers placed in just the perfect place. Let's spend less, but plant more. What do you say we plant a weekend, water it, and watch a summer spring up? More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. We're lowering the cost of putting down some roots. Get 1 gallon perennials 3 for just $10.
Is your computer running slowly?
Lead paint poisoning affects over 1 million children today. Dust from lead-based paint could cause violent behavior. If your home was built before 1978, log on to leadfreekids.org.
We are the face of Comcast.
I'm a perfectionist. At least I try to be.
At Comcast, we solve problems.
If we don't resolve the problem the first time,
we'll extend a courtesy service to our customers.
You're a customer, you deserve it.
If you're a new customer and you're not satisfied with our services,
you can get your money back in the first 30 days.
It's a phenomenal thing to offer to our customers.
We're only as good as our word, and our word is good.
Whether it's giving you a $20 credit if we're late or 30 days to try us out, at Comcast, we're all about the customer, and that's always guaranteed.
Lally, the rookie from Long Island, the interstate moving forward, had an interesting off week competing in a mixed martial arts competition in Atlanta.
He did that on Saturday and then went skydiving on Sunday.
Well, why not?
Very eventful weekend.
Do you get hit in mixed martial arts? Do people punch you? Or is it just like display? I mean, I'm just asking. I don't know anything.
I'm not sure how much of a contact sport that is.
Yeah, I just wondered. I mean, that's crazy. I don't care what you say.
Well, he competed in 4 different classes. He did win 1, so
wow.
he won
That's
1 out
impressive.
of 4.
21:80 on his first lap, second quick behind Kenny Schrader. He's made 7 starts in 2011. Hermie Sadler raced the number 71 at Martinsville.
Really good run at Talladega. Got his first top 20 finish of the year. Finished 19th.
Second lap for Lally, quicker, 21:62. Dick?
With Denny Hamlin, a native Virginia man, loves this racetrack. If this place weren't your home track, if this place was in Idaho, would you love it as much as you do now?
I do. I think it's just the perfect racetrack, perfect size. The way this track races, in my opinion, is as good as any. It's just, you know, we've heard it a lot of times. It kind of drives like a short track, even though it's got intermediate speed to it. So I think that's why all the drivers like it. There's multiple grooves here. It's just a raceable racetrack.
Good deal. Thank you. We're not going to move it to Idaho, by the way.
Okay. Casey Kane is up. Back to Andy Lally. His focus is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and the meet does not allow punching or kicking. Competitors scored on throws, takedowns, sweeps, reversals, and a whole lot more.
Okay, remind me never to say anything bad about Andy Lally. Okay? Right. Never, ever.
All right, Casey Kane. 1 from the pole here in 2005. He's had 14 trips to Richmond. Hasn't had a top 10 finish here in his last 5 attempts, but he goes to the top of the board with a 21:19. 127 miles an hour.
What is the track record here, Larry?
2077. In fact, Casey Kane's teammate Brian Vickers set it back in May of 2004.
We might be wrong.
Could be.
No, it can't happen.
I mean, because these guys are picking up, 21-19, the best in practice was a 53. So, I mean, you're looking at 3/10. These guys are picking up on average. If these guys start picking up like that, it may be closer to that.
We're definitely going to see some laps down.
I'm backtracking. Let me just say I'm backtracking.
And I'm right behind you.
Okay. Don't let me back over you here because I'm headed backwards.
All right, here comes the track record holder, Brian Vickers, back in action behind the wheel of the Red Bull Toyota. There is his track record. And that came in his very first Cup start at this racetrack. He also won the pole for this race in 2009.
Kyle, you'll love this story. This was when he was driving for Hendrick Motorsports. And Mike and Daryl and I walked out of the booth right after qualifying. Randy Dorton, who was the engine builder, who we lost in a plane crash a few years ago. This was before the gear rule days. Looked at Mike and Daryl and I and said, first time we've ever qualified and turned over 10 grand.
God, we just went gulp.
Yeah. Look, everybody in the garage area went gulp when they went over 10 grand, believe me. And they dipped into their pocketbooks a little bit deeper to make them things last.
21.86 for Vickers on his first lap.
Car looks good. Looks really good through 1 and 2. Everybody else we've seen, even Kane, a little bit sideways up off 2. We saw it with Schrader as we went to break, a little bit free as he come up off 2. He drove pretty straight up off 2.
That may, Kyle, have been a get up to speed lap like you were talking about Jeff Gordon doing a while ago, because at 21.39, Brian Vickers now is second quickest.
Beaten and banging. You've never seen a NASCAR Nationwide Series race like you're going to see it on Speed.
Live from Richmond, tonight, 7:30 Eastern. Presented by Nationwide. Brought to you exclusively on Speed.
As a fan of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, I want to get as close to the action as I can get. One way to do that is to use the NASCAR Sprint Cup mobile app for my HTC Evo 4G. Another way is to hide in the back of Carl Edwards' car.
Yeah, Carl! Whoa, we're getting ramped!
Fuel your fan with NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile on the HTC Evo 4G. Only from Sprint, the Now Network.
This is not as safe as I initially planned.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams from Money.
I heard Alan got hurt on his bike.
Yeah, man, he got cut off by a car.
Is he all right?
No, he went down really hard.
Man, is he going to court?
Yeah, he's got to, man. He's got to pay those bills, find somebody to take care of him.
And how's he going to find the right lawyer who handles motorcycles?
We are the face of Comcast.
I'm a perfectionist. At least I try to be.
At Comcast, we solve problems.
If we don't resolve the problem the first time,
We'll extend a courtesy service to our customers.
you're a customer, you deserve it.
If you're a new customer and you're not satisfied with our services,
You can get your money back in the first 30 days.
It's a phenomenal thing to offer to our customers.
we're only as good as our word. And our word is good.
Whether it's giving you a $20 credit if we're late or 30 days to try us out, at Comcast, we're all about the customer, and that's always guaranteed.
Casey Kane climbs out. He is quickest. Brian Vickers, his teammate, second, and on track is Landon Castle. This will only be his second Cup attempt here. He started 28th and finished 33rd last September, driving the 71. The Thank a Teacher Today, number 09 Chevrolet for James Finch.
You know, we were talking earlier in the year, Kyle, something Landon Castle has started doing, and it has to do with iRacing, but it's not a race. He does an iRacing qualifying event, and I think this Tuesday night he has one online, and it's qualifying at Darlington Raceway.
And that's cool. You know, we talked about this recently, and these young guys, you know, used to the only way to get experience on a racetrack and to see a racetrack was to get in a car and go on the racetrack. With this iRacing and so many simulations and simulators that they have, these guys run lap after lap after lap, and at least visually, the light poles are in the same place. The marks on the racetrack, you know where to roll out of it. You know how to. You're more acquainted with the racetrack when you get there.
That's a great training tool. Landon Castle, second fastest with a 21.36, 0.3 of a second behind the driver, who's with Matt Yoakum.
Mike Joy, Red Bull cars first and third. Casey Kane still on the pole. He had surgery on the right knee in the off week. How is it?
It actually feels pretty good. It's a little bit tight just from swelling, but you know the meniscus and all that stuff's fixed. You know, hopefully it's good to go now. I'm tired of having these having my knees worked on, but that was a really good run right there. Our Red Bull Toyota was fast and car felt good. I got moving my hands a little bit off of 4 that second lap and gave up probably, I don't know, maybe we could have ran a flat or something, but it was still I think it's still a pretty solid lap.
Thanks, Case.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. The 3M Ford of Greg Biffle. Biffle has a pole here. It came in this race in 2006. He is third fastest on his first lap.
Good first lap. Really good first lap. This car looks like it rolls pretty good through the middle of 1 and 2. Really, it changes direction good.
Which is a big key here at Richmond, both ends of the racetrack.
Might not take the pole away from Casey Kane, but moves up to the outside of the front row with a 21-23. So it's Kane, Biffle, and Castle, the top 3.
You know, after Denny Hamlin had his knee surgery a year or so ago, a couple years ago, I predict if Casey Kane goes on a winning streak, we'll see multiple drivers have knee surgeries at different times during the season. You know what I mean? Follow the leader.
What's up with this? Kurt Busch is standing out by the pit wall with Dick Berggren, but he is standing, Dick, on his car number, which has been put on the ground with chalk. Why?
Well, I'm going to ask him that. Kurt, this is your car number. Where's your car?
I found the 22. It's just not yellow and red. They're just going to do tech. Everybody just on these one-day schedules gets so tight with trying to make changes to their car and get it through tech inspection and then get ready for qualifying. It's just a quick turnaround. So we should be all right.
You had a nice smile on before I showed up. Does that have anything to do with the car, or is there something else going on in your life that's making you happy tonight?
Just smiling, trying to, what was I watching earlier? Positive mental attitude or something like that from Kenny Wallace. He's the most bubbly guy in our garage, and if he's telling me something like that, then that needs to be stuck in my mind. I'm being positively, mentally, what is it, PMA? I don't even know what the hell he was talking about. I don't even know where I'm going with this. But I'm just smiling. It's good.
Where you're going is, if you're following Kenny Wallace, I'm starting to worry about you.
Hey, David Gilliland had a good lap in practice. He has been here 9 times, looking for his first top 20 start. He will be 6th right now with a 21.55 in the Gander Mountain Ford.
But he's the first driver to slow down on lap 2. I think we found Kurt Busch's car. It's still going through NASCAR inspection.
Yeah, Don Stolen, one of our cameramen, found it. We're now looking for the 11 of Denny Hamlin because his qualifying time is here and Hamlin is on the 5-minute clock. As Jimmy Johnson rolls out with the Lowe's Chevrolet, Jimmy has 2 pole starts and 3 victories at Richmond, tied for the most by all active drivers. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Terry Labonte, and Tony Stewart also have 3 victories here.
It'll be interesting to see how he runs, because you heard at the interview when we started, and on that first lap he let off going in 3 and just let the car have its head, go wherever it wanted to go. He was up the racetrack a little bit to get a good run to come to the green.
Yeah, that's a get up to speed lap for sure. Now Johnson's on at 21.61 the first lap. That is not world class among the 9 drivers who have qualified so far. This lap will be much better.
Well, Dick Berggren reported during that last practice that they had made a mock qualifying run with this 48 car and that Jimmy was not very happy with the way it drove.
Checkers for Johnson. He moves to 3rd with a 21.28. Nice pickup. Joey Logano, Matt Kenseth next.
Truth is, most motorcycle insurance costs about the same. What's not the same is the coverage. Now you can get the Allstate protection you need for a price you can afford. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects the rider better than Allstate.
Relationships fail.
Systems fail. Failure is part of life. Fram filters are tested beyond any conditions you'll ever encounter to help make sure failure is not part of your engine's life. Fram, don't fail your engine.
Why'd you drag us halfway around the world?
You got a job. We're talking about $100 million.
Wheel out on there, 160 wheel on the dance, lean on the wheel and my feet on the gas. Got everything on smash.
You're going down, Toretto. I'm right here.
That's how we roll.
Now I see why you always get in accidents.
Fast and Furious 5, rated PG-13, in theaters and IMAX now.
Matt Kenseth in the Crown Royal Ford Fusion will qualify next. Denny Hamlin's car on the 5-minute clock that NASCAR allows for you to present your car to qualify from the time that your position in the order comes up to the front of the line. Kenseth has two top 10 starts here in 22 races.
You know what? These cars always amaze me. They look so stable on the racetrack compared to the old style race cars. The old style race cars, you can see, the only way you can tell these cars are moving around a lot of times is to watch the driver's hands inside there.
Matt Kenseth, the winner here in the fall race of 2002. Fourth quickest right now at a 21:36. Dick.
With Jeff Gordon, and let's see, 5 poles, 6 times you qualified on the outside of the front row. I think you got this qualifying stuff at Richmond pretty well figured out. What you got for us tonight?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Happy to be back in the DuPont Chevrolet this weekend, and well, at least when it gets out here on pit road anyway. But
are you nervous about that? How long is this taking?
You know, it's nothing that we get nervous about. I mean, it happens sometimes, and you know, you have one little thing go wrong and get through inspection, which looks like a bunch of guys are having. So we're missing a bunch of cars out here right now. But once we get here, you know, we'll just stay calm, get buckled in the car, and start focusing on the lap. But you know, the track picks up so much here from practice once that sun goes down, that you know, you see these lap times, you're like, wow, you know, how are they doing that? So obviously the track's got a lot of grip. We were really worked on our race setup and thought we got it really good with the DuPont Chevrolet there in practice. So not sure what we're going to have here for qualifying.
All right, thank you. Hope your car comes here soon.
It will.
Yeah, Jeff was 22nd in practice as Denny Hamlin, 2-time pole winner and 2-time race winner here and winner of last night's charity event. He won here last fall, leading 251 of the 400 laps.
Right on the yellow line there through 3 and 4.
Yeah, he got into 3 good and the car stuck.
Ooh, second. Nice run for Hamlin, 21:13. Matt?
Well, Greg Biffle just dropped down to 3rd, but this car almost night and day from practice.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking before. I don't think this is the car I drove in practice. I think they switched it on me. Man, I'll tell you what, a lot of grip. The car really stuck. I wish I'd known it was going to drive like that. I might have drove it in the corner a little further, but might have slowed me down. But definitely could have pushed the gas down earlier coming off of 4 and might have got me that one spot in front of Denny Hamlin. We'll see.
Almost 3/4 seconds pickup from practice, Mike.
Thanks, Matt. Bobby Labonte, the Kingsford Charcoal 47. Bobby got a pole here in his second trip to Richmond in a Cup car, driving the Maxwell House car for Junior Johnson in 1993.
I got to pat Larry and I on the back. I'm going to give us a little attaboy there, because we said at least once or twice you would hear a driver say, I wish I'd have known it was going to stick that good from practice.
That's right.
Because I'd have drove it a little bit harder. Greg Biffle made us sound like we knew what we were talking about. But that's exactly right. And I want to ask you, I'm watching these cars, and I'm watching the 11 car. How, as a crew chief, do you make up for more grip in the racetrack and the adrenaline of the driver? Because these cars, when they get down on that splitter, they push. They drive terrible. How do you make up for that?
Yeah, and I mean, that's one thing that they've had to compensate for, because faster speeds means, especially on the entrance, the car is going to travel more. And I think that's another reason some of these cars are late coming through inspection. Some changes have been made to try to accommodate for that.
Bobby Labonte is 3rd with a 21:18. There are still more than a dozen cars lined up in the inspection lane.
Camping World and Good Sam. One great company with a complete offering of everything RV under one roof. We provide new and used RVs, rentals, accessories, service, collision repair, financing, roadside assistance, warranties, insurance, and exclusive club membership, and much more. With 75 locations, Camping World and Good Sam will bring you peace of mind mile after mile. What are you waiting for? Get outside. But first, come experience the all-new Camping World and Good Sam, united to serve all of your RV and outdoor needs. Green flag.
Speed training. It's how Advanced Auto Parts trains our staff to get you the right part even faster. Not bad. The parts you need even faster. Advanced Auto Parts. Service is our best part. Next!
Introducing a renewable energy solution that will forge new opportunities for the American worker, as well as advance our nation's energy independence. American ethanol. From America's cornfields to America's racetracks. It's a brand new race day.
Sprint brings you an inside look at what's happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Most Richmond poles of all active drivers, Jeff Gordon with 5. For more NASCAR stats and in-car audio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile, sprint.com/speed. Casey Mears has had 16 trips to Richmond in a Cup car, qualified 3rd here for Chip Ganassi in this race in 2006. The Geico Toyota, first lap 21:41.
Looking like a pretty good second lap. Depends on how he gets through the middle of 3 and 4 here, and if he can put the throttle down and stay with it. It's going to be a great lap for Casey.
4th quickest for Mears, 21:18 with a 4. Bobby Labonte's 21:18 with a 1, just ahead of him. Dick?
With Tony Stewart, wondering now that you're 12th in points, what your focus is going to be tomorrow night. Are you going to just try to have a good finish out of this, or are you going to do the usual Tony Stewart and go for the win?
The usual. I mean, it's, the point structure is still the same as it always has been every division I've ever raced in my whole life. It's you go out and win the race, you get the most points. So, that's the bonus of winning the race is you get the trophy, you get the money, and you get the points with it. So that's what we're going to do with this Mobile One Office Depot Chevy.
There's one more thing you get. Fans. Lots and lots of fans drive like that.
He has lots of those already. Joey Logano, the Home Depot Toyota, his best of 4 trips to Richmond was here last fall, where he started 6th and finished 4th.
I truly believe we're going to start seeing the speeds even pick up more, because I know during that last break, Matt Yoakum and Dick Bergeron were telling us through our production truck, they can really feel the temperature starting to drop out there.
For everybody out there who's watching qualifying or watches racing, Tony just answered the points question. It doesn't make any difference how many they give for first or how you equate them. If you go out and win the race, you get the most points, you're going to be the champion. You're going to go to the top of the heat, whether it's 2 points for winning or 20 points for winning.
There's a however to that.
Don't give me that.
After this, here's Logano, second fastest at a 21:09, just 3/100ths off Casey Kane. We all know a bunch of fellas, including Rusty Wallace, who won the most races, didn't win the championship. Yeah. I mean, it does happen. It's race time at Walmart. From official gear to snacks for race day, you'll find everything you need. So gear up, stock up, save. Casey Kane is quickest. Joey Logano is second of the 14 drivers who have gone so far. Marcus Ambrose, Jeff Gordon, David Rudiman coming up.
We know most of our Toyotas have already qualified. They occupy the top 5 right now.
Marcus Ambrose could win this race tomorrow night. He is one of a couple of former road race champions That list includes Montoya, who was fast in the second practice, Allmendinger, who was pretty quick, that seemed to have really taken to this racetrack. His best trip here was also last fall, where he started 13th and finished top 5.
He got top 10 finishes in both races last year.
Stanley Ford. Little wobble off the corner.
I think what he did, he kind of eased it in there, hoping he could pick up a lot more ground coming off, and it really didn't work out that great for him.
He picks up, but only 4 100ths to a 21.38 and wins his 10th.
Bell helmets, mongoose elbow pads, a pillow pet, and cotton balls.
You're doing great. Guys, come on. She's not that bad of a driver.
Only Walmart has low prices every day on everything you need, backed by our ad match guarantee. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Experiments fail. Technologies fail. Failure is part of life. Fram filters are tested beyond any conditions you'll ever encounter to help make sure failure is not part of your engine's life. Fram, don't fail your engine.
Juicy Johnsonville sausage, made with only premium cuts of pork since 1945. Johnsonville, sausage is all we do.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson.
Folks, why won't we go to the doctor? My uncle called, speech all slurred, complaining his arms numb. He called everyone. He even called my daughter Tiara, because, you know, she's got a year of nursing. Everyone thinks he needs to go to the doctor, including me. So he said, well, will you take me? I'm like, I'm on the road. He goes, I'll wait. Stroke's no joke. If you or someone you love have symptoms of stroke, don't wait. It may be too late. Dial 911. Time loss is brain loss.
We are the face of Comcast.
I'm a perfectionist. At least I try to be.
At Comcast, we solve problems.
If we don't resolve the problem the first time,
we'll extend a courtesy service to our customers.
You're a customer, you deserve it.
If you're a new customer and you're not satisfied with our services,
you can get your money back in the first 30 days.
It's a phenomenal thing to offer to our customers.
We're only as good as our word, and our word is good.
Whether it's giving you a $20 credit if we're late or 30 days to try us out, at Comcast, we're all about the customer, and that's always guaranteed.
Coverage of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Richmond, brought to you in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative. Experience more at FunaiAmerica.com. Casey Kane quickest in a 21.06. David Rudiman in the Aaron's Toyota started this race from the outside pole last year. It's going to be a good first lap as that tracker keeps moving to the left. 7th quickest on his first lap, 21.27. Could he be the first driver to break 21 seconds?
That is the, I think, the second quickest first lap, second only to Casey Kane, who's at 21.19.
Eased off into turn number 1 and gives up some off turn number 4. He'll end up 6th with a 21.20.
Bad loose off turn 4.
Matt?
Joey Logano talking things over with his car chief, Jason Shapiro. So what'd you tell the car chief about your run?
Tell him he's the man. No, we were on the 5-minute clock there and barely make it. We were joking around. We were making him work hard today. Home Depot Toyota wasn't really good the first practice. I didn't really focus much in qualifying trim. We focused a lot on race trim because we were far off. And Zip and the guys did a great job. Got the car good by the end of the second practice. And qualifying here is just a guessing game for us. So I'm actually pretty happy with what we got there so far. I feel like I left a little bit out there. I overdrove it a little bit, but it's either way. Still gonna make the lap, and I'm a good starting spot for us.
Martin Truex, driving the Napa Toyota, started the fall race in 2009 from the outside pole. He has one top 5 finish here.
This is looking like a pretty sporty first lap. Lost a little bit of ground late exit turn 4.
21-27 on lap 1.
And this is a funny racetrack. You get into turn 3, and it's such a tight corner to get into turn 3. But you can let the car go. But as you let the car go and the car breaks loose, you almost have to soft pedal it sometimes up off there. And that's where that lap tracker loses that ground when you look at it up off turn 4.
Only picks up 7 100ths. Truex is 7th. Dick?
Kyle Busch's record here at Richmond is simply phenomenal. He has been running at the finish of every one of his, I hope I don't embarrass you with this, every one of his Sprint Cup races, finished on the lead lap of every one of his Sprint Car races. And in the spring, he's run here 6 times. Every finish has been in the top 5. Why?
I don't know. It's just, it's a place that's just kind of worked well for me. You know, we've had some good results over here in the years, and whether it's been in a 5 car or in the 18 car, you know, it's been a good place for us. So hopefully we can keep the tradition going. You know, if you look at the qualifying stats, I'm glad you didn't mention any of those because they're not so hot.
Wait a minute, didn't you win the pole here last spring?
I don't know.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, well, go look at the rest of them because they're not very good, but we'll see how it lays out today. You know, our M&M's Pretzel Toyota Camry is pretty decent, so we'll see if we can't qualify like our 2 teammates up there, and hopefully we can have a good, strong run tomorrow night.
All right, go get them. Thank you.
Jeff Gordon with 5 poles and 2 wins here, none from the pole in the DuPont Chevrolet. 27 years ago, Rick Hendrick, as a car owner, won the first of his 196 victories. It came in 1984 at Martinsville. Jeff Bodine was the driver. Kyle Petty finished 8th in that race.
Was I racing then?
1984, yes, you were. 21:57, not a particularly great first lap, but look at that tracker on lap 2.
I think you've made this call earlier.
Yep.
Now, he has just done that up here before, where you just give up that first lap to get some heat in the tires, but you don't put too much heat in them, so it's just enough to get them working. He's the best at that. When he goes and does it, then you start seeing a lot of people go and do it.
Jeff Gordon picks up, well, nearly half a second.
That's what Boyer's saying.
Jumps right to the front row. That's the way you do it.
Yeah, Boyer's saying, I'm going to give up my first lap now. I tell you that right now. I don't care. And what was that with Berggren? I don't think you can embarrass Kyle Busch. No. I mean, what's up with that?
He was being polite.
Okay, that was very polite. That must be some of that Northeastern stuff. That's not a Southern thing.
Kurt Busch in the Shell Pennzoil Dodge. Comes out for his qualifying run. He has a victory here, driving for Jack Roush in 05. And his best qualifying effort here, 4th that same year in the spring race. Also in a Ford.
You see these guys, and you just saw him down in turn 1. He goes down in turn 1 and lets the car go up. He doesn't want to overdrive and turn the wheel too much to put too much heat in that right front tire, because the second lap, we talked about it during practice, you don't want that thing chattering because you've got so much heat in it when you really go after it.
He almost did the same thing off turn 2. He kind of just let it go where it wanted to go.
Yeah, you just don't put a lot of wheel in it because you don't want to be scrubbing those front tires.
Yeah, but this is not pretty. This car just does not have the speed. 21.86 on the first lap. And he's going to claw his way into the top 15, 14th at a 21.39.
We might need to go have Kenny Wallace let his window net down.
Look outside. It's grow time. So let's plant some perennials that'll turn up every year. Trees and shrubs to give us depth. And fill it out with flowers placed in just the perfect place. Let's spend less, but plant more. What do you say we plant a weekend, water it, and watch a summer spring up? More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. We're lowering the cost of putting down some roots. Get 1-gallon perennials 3 for just $10.
Oh yes, this is powerful stuff. Got me circling like the moon around the sun. Hear me, this is powerful stuff. There's no way for you to give it up.
It's true. You never forget your first Subaru.
Relationships fail. Systems fail. Failure is part of life. Fram filters are tested beyond any conditions you'll ever encounter to help make sure failure is not part of your engine's life. Fram, don't fail your engine.
Hello, sunshine, sweet as you can be.
Wake up to sweetness with Honey Nut Cheerio cereal. Kissed with real honey. And the 100% natural whole grain oats can help lower your cholesterol.
You are so sweet to me.
Be happy, be healthy.
Casey Kane is quickest. Here's David Reagan in the UPS Ford. 8 trips to Richmond. His first season, 2007 for Jack Roush. He started 8th in the fall, finished 3rd, his best in both categories.
One thing about this 6 car and David Reagan, they ain't been fast about everywhere we've been this year so far in 2011. Not a great first lap, though. 21:48 for David.
18th in practice among the top 35. Right now 10th on that first lap. Just 21:25.
Just behind his teammate Greg Biffle.
Second fastest of the Fords. 20 have qualified. We have 15 to go in the top 35, and then knockout qualifying. 1 driver to go home.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, that's an impressive lap by Casey Kane. Still at the top of the board, but remember, he was one of the early guys to go because he was slow in practice. And you think sometimes that it's going to play out fastest to slowest, and you're going to get to the faster cars. So for that speed to have held up through 20 cars is really impressive.
Now, Kane was the 5th driver to qualify, which means in the top 35, he was 31st of 35 in practice. Tony Stewart, the Mobile One Office Depot Chevrolet. 1 outside pole at Richmond, 3 victories, but none since 2002. Although since that time, he's been second here 4 times at the finish line.
Yesterday, Tony made a trip over to the Marine Corps base in Quantico, Virginia, and visited some of the wounded soldiers over there.
First lap for Stewart, 21:44.
That thing got a little out of shape right there.
Yes, it did.
That's going to cost him. Trying to squeeze into the top 10, but it's just not there. 12th for Stewart, 21:30. You get a double-barrel version of Trackside tonight, special edition. Steve and Jeff get you revved up with Matt Kenseth. Special edition tonight at 7 Eastern live on Speed. Then the nationwide race, and then David Gilliland on, what do we call it, Trackside 2 after the race.
Oh,
bonus coverage.
Trackside square. I don't know what the temperature is outside, but it's freezing in this booth.
Yes, it is. A.J. Allmendinger driving for Richard Petty. Always nice to see a team welcome a new major brand into the sport. Nautica Sportswear appears on a Cup car. I believe it's the first time they've been in our sport, and they join AJ and Richard Petty in the number 43.
You think the King would wear Nautica? Does Nautica go with a cowboy hat and cowboy boots? Just a question.
Sure. Casual clothing, yeah.
Nautica implies like
yatcheting.
Yatchet. Yeah. The King would look right at home on a yatchet.
Well, I know what the King did look at home on, and that was when before this was a 3/4 mile track.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Petty won 13 races here when it was a half mile.
AJ last fall started 3rd and finished 8th here. 11th fastest on his first lap.
You got to do 1 and 2 really good right there.
Lost a little ground center off at 3 and 4.
He's going to wind up 8th. Allmendinger, 21:20.
And how many times do you see that, Larry? When your driver really makes good time through 1 and 2, and he's going to get on the pole through 3 and 4. He's going to put this thing on the stop. And everything he gained through 1 and 2, you give back through 3 and 4.
We have 3 drivers at 21:20. Rudeman with a 4, Allmendinger with a 4, and Truex with a 9. Things are really close, 6th through about 10th.
And that's what's so cool about short track qualifying and short track racing is you can, and we've talked about this before, you can have 15 drivers within a 10th of each other, and it's whether you're on the good end of a 10th or on the bad end of a 10th.
That's right. Here it could be the 100th, whether you're on the good or bad end. You're going to have 5 guys right there. Jamie Mack in the McDonald Chevrolet this week. Started 8th here last spring, his only top 10 start. He does have 3 top 10 finishes at Richmond.
He was looking pretty good on his first lap till he got to the middle of 3 and 4, and he lost some ground late exit 21-22. Still pretty solid first lap.
I believe that's the second best first lap, only 3 100ths off what Casey Kane ran. But he's got to move that ticker to the left up here. There's a big chunk. And back the other way.
Sometimes the first lap's just too good.
7th for McMurray, another 20, a 21.201 for Jamie.
It's Denny time.
You drive like my mom.
Dinner's ready.
What would you do with your favorite driver? Enter your design at toyotaracing.com.
Experiments fail. Technologies fail. Failure is part of life. Fram filters are tested beyond any conditions you'll ever encounter to help make sure failure is not part of your engine's life. Fram, don't fail your engine.
Juicy Johnsonville sausage, made with only premium cuts of pork since 1945. Johnsonville, sausage is all we do.
Hydration where you least expect it. From your razor. Schick Hydro. Water-activated gel hydrates your skin throughout each shave and lasts up to twice as long as ordinary strips, while 5 blades with skin guards smooth the skin to reduce irritation. Our best shave for your skin. Schick Hydro. Free your skin.
From groundbreaking motocross technology to a leader in ATV innovation to #1 in MotoGP and #1 in sport ATVs, Yamaha is the first name in motorsports. Be the first to get into your Yamaha dealer for a great deal. Then get out and ride.
Jeff Burton driving for Richard Childress in the Caterpillar Chevy. He has a win and a pole here, both for Jack Roush. That win, he beat Jeff Gordon, held Gordon off by about a foot to win it. And right now the quickest Ford is Allmendinger in 9th place. Quickest Chevrolet is Jeff Gordon in 2nd. Here is Burton 15th on his first lap with a 21.36.
Jeff this week re-signed a multi-year contract extension with Richard Childress Racing, as well as Caterpillar will be on board for a number of years.
12th for Burton with a 21.25. Dick?
One of the most pleasant surprises of the 2011 season has been Regan Smith, whose qualifying effort has been second to none. 6 times qualifying in the top 10. To what do you attribute your success?
I don't really know, but we'll take it. Definitely, the Furniture Row Chevys have been real fast on Fridays and qualifying on Saturdays, and we've had fast race cars too. So we just we need to qualify good and finish it off, and we're getting close to being able to do that. So I got a good car again today. The guys built another great car, and hopefully we can have a good run.
Some might say the driver knows how to go fast too.
That is sure a big part of it. Mark Martin has 50 starts at Richmond. I believe that's the most of all active drivers. GoDaddy.com Chevrolet. 4 poles and 1 victory coming in this race in 1990, 21 years ago.
Take a look at this first lap right here.
Wow, 21.09, second fastest on lap 1.
But did he get too much on lap 1? He eased it down into turn 3, trying to get as much as he can, but I don't think it's going to get there.
21:08. He picks up 100th, but it's not enough to topple Casey Kane.
But you saw that car had a lot of forward bite because he eased into turn 3, lost a little bit on the lap tracker, but picked up the gas and was able to carry that momentum and not give any of it back.
Who's led the most laps this season? Sprint brings you an inside look at what's happening now inside the Sprint Cup Series. KB, Rowdy Busch, 484 laps so far this year. For more NASCAR stats, NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile is at sprint.com/speed. Dick?
With Carl Edwards, your practice numbers would suggest you've got a terrific shot at the pole. Can you do it?
Yeah, the problem is I have to do it now. You know, we got a fast race car. The Fastenal Mustang was fast in nationwide qualifying.
And how'd that work out?
That went well. That was really good. I didn't mess that one up. So if I can get this Scott's Easy seat on the pole here, that'd be huge for tomorrow night. We've got a fast enough car. I just have to do my job.
So you're going to be on the pole later tonight on speed?
Oh yeah, on speed, the Nationwide Series for the first time. That would be. That's going to be fun. Tune in, folks. It's going to be an exciting race.
All right, thank you. Appreciate the plug.
Brad Keselowski, the Miller Lite Dodge, has started top 10 every one of his 3 Cup starts at Richmond. Will that string continue?
Boy, talk about good forward bite. He really got off turn 2.
Looking for the front row. Oh, just missed it. 4th for Keselowski, 21:09. We have 3 drivers at 21:09. We have 4 drivers at 21:20. It's a good thing we timed to the 1,000th of a second.
Yes, it is.
Later tonight on speed, the Bubba Burger 250, Carl Edwards, Sam Hornish on the front row ahead of Brian Scott, Eric Almirola, and Justin Allgaier. The front 5, Kenny Wallace will have a speed onboard camera starting from 7th.
We're down to these were the 10 fastest cars, starting with Keselowski there. These are the 10 fastest cars in practice. But as you looked at the 10 fastest cars in practice, the 18 car of Kyle Busch was the fastest Toyota and the only Toyota in the top 10. Now as we look at qualifying so far, there's 6 Toyotas in the top 10.
So here's the M&M Pretzel Toyota for Kyle Busch, who has won 1 pole here, came in this race last year, and he has won the last 2 spring races at Richmond.
He smoked that tire right there. He locked the tire up going into turn 3 over there. As you saw him, we talk about driving it down in there. He drove it down in there, and it appeared that he locked the right front. I couldn't tell from that angle.
So 21:50, got some picking up to do.
And that comes from not having heat in the tires, from overdriving and not having a lot of heat in the tires. He was just going to barrel it off in there and get a good run back to the green flag.
I don't think he's going to be real happy with the way this lap went for him, though.
No, 12th.
But this is an example, as you look at this replay, this is an example of how messing up on one of your 2 laps of qualifying or coming to the green can mess you up. See him, he barrels off into turn 3 here, and as he see the left front lock up, he just overruns the left front tire. There's not enough heat in it just by going out and running through turns 1 and 2.
Matt?
Mike, impressive first lap by Mark Martin. What happened on the second lap?
Well, I don't know. I hadn't had a chance to look at, I don't know. I tell you one thing, I don't have much time left, so I got to go. So if they give me 1 lap, I'm going to get all I can the first lap. I didn't save nothing the first lap. But I want to give a shout out to everybody at GoDaddy.com and CarQuest Auto Parts and Farmers Insurance and all of our supporters, Chevrolet and everybody at Henry Motorsports. Sure is a pleasure to work with these guys. This team worked so hard today on this race car. I've never seen a bunch of guys get as much stuff done in such little time as these guys. I'm really proud of them.
Mark's still on the outside front row.
Thanks, Matt. Ryan Newman in the U.S. Army Chevrolet has 4 front row starts at Richmond, including 1 pole in 2004 and a win here for Roger Penske in 2003.
He eased it down into turn 3, but he didn't pay any dividends by doing that. He picks it up to 8th quickest to a 21:18. That's 3 drivers at a 21:18 now.
Dick?
Fastest driver of the day in practice was Dale Earnhardt Jr. That makes you the favorite for the pole tonight. How do you feel about that?
I don't know if we're the favorite. We went out pretty early in the first practice, which the track's really in good shape there to get a good lap down to get this kind of a draw for qualifying, and it worked out. But
We made we made one more run at the end of the day. It wasn't quite as good, didn't look quite as good to us. So we'll just have to see what we get. This track's got a lot of grip. Hopefully I can drive it hard enough and get around there and see what happens.
Junior Nation will be cheering for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dick. Paul Menard in the Menards Chevrolet from Richard Childress Racing. 7th at the start here last fall. His first trip here in 2007, his best finish at Richmond, 16th.
And he was anxious to get here because he felt like he's always struggled, but he knew that Richard Childress Racing, they've always had a pretty good program for this racetrack.
15th on his first lap. Right now, the best RCR driver. We'll see here in a second. Is him.
Keeps inching toward that front row. He lost some ground late exit of turn 4.
So he is the quickest of the Childress cars right now, 6th fastest at a 21:10. Toyota has the pole, Casey Kane. Chevrolet the outside pole, Mark Martin. Dodge 4th with Brad Keselowski, and the fastest Ford right now is Allmendinger, 13th. As we move into the fastest half dozen from practice, beginning with Cato, New York's Regan Smith in the Furniture Row Chevrolet, looking for his first top 15 start at Richmond in his 6th race here. Started 18th at Talladega, as you saw. That was by far his worst start of the season.
You know what? Young drivers like this, and you look at them, it seems like, and I know Larry's seen this, you see drivers start to qualify better, and then they start to run better, and then they start to win races. And that's the way it is. You know, when you've got a driver that can qualify fast, they can put it in the top 10. If you just keep hammering that, eventually you start creating top 5s and top 10s.
Tell you what, look at his tracker here. His first lap was 21:18. See how he gets through 3 and 4 and off of 4.
Looking for the pole to take it away from Casey Kane.
But he stayed in the throttle. Wow.
Got it. Regan Smith, 21:03.
Wow.
Here's your new pole sitter.
He drove that thing right out at the wall, didn't he? And stayed right in the gas.
I mean, I didn't know it was ever going to stick, but it did.
I didn't think the racetrack was wide enough for that line. What a lap for Regan Smith, and his dream season of qualifying continues here. When you look at the drivers that he has out-qualified with that lap, that is very impressive. 5 cars to go, and then we move to knockout qualifying.
I mean, he could have easily cracked the throttle there, but he stayed in it because he knew it was qualifying.
Clint Boyer, 5th fastest in practice in the BB&T Chevrolet for Richard Childress. Started 4th here last fall, his best, and he won this race in 2008.
Comes on the heels of 2 consecutive second-place finishes at Texas and Talladega. Really has popped up in the points over the last 4 or 5 races.
Yeah, these guys started off the season and worked themselves into a little bit of a hole. The 31 Boyer and Burton.
9th on the first lap. Boyer trying to make it to the front row. Right now it's Chevy, Toyota, Regan Smith, Casey Kane, and he's going to move to 2nd.
Little bit of bobble getting in the 3 down to the middle looks like what cost him, Mike.
21:04. Missed the pole by a little less than 2 100ths. Regan Smith hangs on. He's got 4 big guns to go.
And they are big guns.
Matt?
And that's what he said, Mike, when he got out of the car. Great run, but you do have some big bullets left to dodge.
That's the tough part about this new procedure is you always know there's faster cars coming unless you're, one of the last cars to go. But, it doesn't take away from the great car that we've got and the great job all the guys on the Furniture Row.
Oh, no, you guys continue to send a big statements this year in qualifying.
Qualifying's been great, and we really want to get a pole. I want to get that out of the way, and then we can, hopefully start getting those top 10s and top 5s and all the other stuff.
The countdown begins, Mike.
Yeah, his best career start, 3rd at Bristol this March. Carl Edwards is one of those 4 bullets. The Scott's Easy Seed Ford won the pole here last fall, finishing 10th. He has 1 top 5 finish at Richmond. Now the front row starters, both of their first laps were 21:18. That would equate to 11th or 12th on the ticker for the first lap, and Edwards is not there. His first lap 21:27.
I didn't really see the car doing anything, just wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, I agreed. I just thought, you know, he didn't get it down on the bottom of the racetrack the way some of these other guys. He's about a lane up, a half a lane up or so.
Loose off 2. And out of 4, Edwards gets a good pickup, but it's to 7th, 21:09. He is the 4th driver at 21:09 tonight. 7th quickest. Tomorrow, NASCAR race day in Richmond. Clint Boyer, Casey Kane, and Mike Helton on the show live. Kyle Busch discusses his recent dominance of the spring race here on NASCAR race day, built by the Home Depot. That's tomorrow at 5 Eastern, live on Speed. All right, Regan Smith has 3 left to dodge, assuming we don't get a stunner from the go or go home guys, and that's possible here. 3rd fastest in practice was Kevin Harvick. He has won 1 pole and 1 race at Richmond in 2005 and 6 respectively. See what the Budweiser Chevy can do. Best RCR car right now is Boyer, 2nd fastest. And again, you're looking for a 21:18 first lap, which would be right in that range there.
A lot like Carl Edwards, didn't see the car doing anything, just wasn't going anywhere.
No, and you know, Kevin's not the greatest qualifier in the world. Last year, even finishing 3rd in points, I think he averaged qualifying 26th or 27th.
21:30 on the first lap. That lacks 12/100, so what Smith and Boyer did. And he's 11th. Harvick is 11th at a 21:15. And then there were 2. One Paulo Montoya and Dale Earnhardt Jr. that stand in the way of Regan Smith's first career Sprint Cup pole.
And we don't mean to shortcut our 9 go or go homers, but we know they have to be a little conservative. They can't go for it, or they'll be one of the only driver to go home.
Yeah, they don't go for the pole. You know, very rarely do you see a go or go homer go for the pole. Basically, he says, okay, there's 10 cars here or 9 cars. I've got to beat these guys. I'm just competing with myself. So it's almost like 2 qualifying sessions sometimes.
Juan Paulo Montoya, the Target Chevy, finished in the top 10 both races here last year. He started 2nd in the fall race, and once again, to have a good shot at the pole, you want to see the first lap end up right about there at about 11th or 12th, because that's how quick the first laps of Smith and Boyer were.
And he just slipped down in between 3 and 4. He got in the corner and had to work the thing up the racetrack.
And honestly, slipping there can even hurt your second lap
because you lose all that momentum coming to finish the first lap.
But look at this pickup. He might get there. Up to the front row, up to the pole, entering the corner.
Just
Can
keeps
he
flirting
hold
with
it?
He will, I believe.
Yes, Montoya.
Wow.
Is fastest. And Regan Smith will not win the pole. 20:98 for Montoya. First driver to break 21 seconds. 5/100. Make that 4/100ths quicker than Regan Smith. And what a job he had to do to overcome a first lap that was 12/100ths slower than Smith.
I'd say that's called up on the wheel.
Yeah. He is up on the wheel turning that thing right there.
That was a phenomenal lap. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the National Guard Chevy, fastest in opening practice. 3 times a winner at Richmond, 1 front row start. All for DEI.
Be interesting to see how he approaches this process after watching what Jeff did, after watching what Jimmy, his teammates, have done, and Mark, and seeing how fast they were and what they did on their first lap versus their second, and then watching these last 3 or 4 cars.
He sure didn't sound very optimistic about this qualifying run when we interviewed him.
No, and this first lap is a 21:40. That's a 10th slower than Montoya and 2/10 slower than Smith or Boyer's first lap.
A little bit free right there coming up out
Bad
of two.
loose.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot of forward bite. He got a lot of side slippage there.
Yeah, he's going to struggle to even get to the top 20 with this lap. I don't think he will get there.
No. 22nd for Dale Jr. with a 21-24. It's not over, but there's your likely pole sitter, Juan Pablo Montoya, as we move to knockout qualifying. 9 drivers for 8 spots.
One of the most exciting nights in all of motorsports.
It's a good night to get even with somebody.
The NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, Saturday, May 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
The magnificent Beatrice Henson is turning 100 soon, an achievement worthy of celebration. And thanks to Sprint's Unlimited plan, you can call or text her number or email her address for no extra cost. So congratulate her, sing to her, and together, we can give a complete stranger the best birthday ever. Go ahead, world. Unlimit yourself. Sprint, America's favorite 4G network.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams from Money.
The commissioner is about to get this party started on NFL Network.
Okay, football fans, here we go. Welcome to the NFL Draft.
The 2011 NFL Draft begins Thursday, April 28th, live and in primetime. NFL Network. You want the NFL? Go to the NFL.
I would say to our fans and to our community to please get excited about this football team because the time is now. We want to do this now.
We are the face of Comcast.
I'm a perfectionist. At least I try to be.
At Comcast, we solve problems.
If we don't resolve the problem the first time,
we'll extend a courtesy service to our customers.
You're a customer, you deserve it.
If you're a new customer and you're not satisfied with our services,
you can get your money back in the first 30 days.
It's a phenomenal thing to offer to our customers.
We're only as good as our word, and our word is good.
Whether it's getting you a $20 credit if we're late or 30 days to try us out, at Comcast, we're all about the customer, and that's always guaranteed.
Of NASCAR Sprint Cup practice from Richmond, brought to you in high definition by Funai. Fun and innovative. Experience more at FunaiAmerica.com. And by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Knockout qualifying, and the first car scheduled was J.J. Yaley, who was slowest of that group in practice. This is the 37 of Tony Raines. And Yaley's car had engine trouble in practice. So not sure if it's up there on the line or not. Hard to see from this vantage point. But Raines, the former ASA champ, 21.71 and a 21.51. That is 34th of 36 right now. Dick?
With Dave Lenny, who just picked up a new sponsor in Golden Corral today. I saw a bunch of overnight boxes coming in. Were those your uniforms for from your new sponsor?
Yeah, just in the nick of time. Right before practice. They look great. We're so excited to have them on the car, and maybe these new ones will be good luck today.
Congratulations on the new deal. Good for you.
Thanks, Dick. Speed's presentation of Sprint Cup qualifying in Richmond is brought to you by Allstate. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects the rider like Allstate. Are you in good hands? And by Johnsonville, sausage is all we do. Joe Nemechek first came here in 1994. He's run 34 races here. He started from the outside pole in this race in 2003 for Rick Hendrick and won it.
He looks like he's going to get in actually on lap 1.
He's in 21.41 on the first lap. In the first practice, Nemechek was the fastest of the go-homers in that 2-hour practice session that began the day for the Sprint Cup drivers.
And then lost a little ground through 3 and 4, but as we said, all you got to do is beat one driver.
24th with a 21.25. Nemechek's in, Raines on the hot seat. So the AM/FM Energy.com Toyota will be in the 400 lapper tomorrow night. And there is J.J. Yaley's car on the qualifying line. The Redline Oil Chevy ready to go. Don't know, Larry, if they lost an engine during practice, but there was a lot of smoke coming from behind Yaley's number 46 after only one lap of practice.
Yeah, it was my understanding that the engine did let go in that car.
So here's the former sprint car and midget ace from Phoenix, second generation driver. Trying to put this car into the show. He's got to beat Tony Raines at a 21:51 to be assured of a spot in the field tomorrow night. So the red line on the tracker is Raines at 35th position right now. 8 to make it, 1 to go home.
Yeah, he only made one lap in final practice. He did get about 24 laps in that first practice, but this will be the first lap on this engine.
21:69. He's going to need to pick up 19 100ths to make the show. He's creeping to the left, one spot ahead of Raines right now.
Right on top of him.
Right on top of him. He is faster by 1,000th of a second. 21.516 to Tony Raines' 21.517.
And that's
Yaley's
huge.
in.
That's huge.
Woo. Don't be surprised if that's the difference in going or going home.
Whatever you want, whatever you need, the low price is guaranteed. You can have it now, you don't have to wait. You can buy a lease to own the Aaron's way. Nobody beats Aaron's, nobody, nobody beats Aaron's, nobody.
You like who you are, the man you've become. And you learn something along the way about the world and yourself. This is the age of knowing what you're made of and knowing how to get things done. So why would you let something like erectile dysfunction get in your way? Isn't it time you talk to your doctor about Viagra? 20 million men already have. With every age comes responsibility. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. You didn't get to this age by having things handed to you. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor. See if America's most prescribed ED treatment is right for you.
Somebody better keep me away from any anyone after this race.
Here's Travis Quapple on the Long John Silver Sport. First lap 21:34. Second lap is better. 21:27. 26th overall, and Quapple is comfortably in the field for tomorrow night. Raines remains on the hot seat with a 21.517, just 1/1,000th slower than J.J. Yaley, with 5 cars to go. Dave Blaney is next, and that sponsorship Dick asked him about, that's the result of Kevin Harvick's in-car radio at Talladega. When Harvick keyed the radio, we replayed it on Fox. He says, I'm going to be having nightmares of kids eating free all night tonight, because he was following, drafting off Blaney, pushing Blaney for so much of the race. So we had to explain the Golden Corral promotion, that if an adult buys a meal, he can bring up to 2 kids on Monday and eat free if Blaney finishes in the top 10. They like that, and they get a big sponsorship deal out of it.
The great thing about this whole story is this is the third year of Tommy Baldwin racing. Yes, he has done a number of starting parks, but all he needed to do is get something on the quarter panels, and they would start racing, which is what they're going to do.
Which is what they're doing.
Racing. Look at this, man. He was up into the top 10 for coming out of turn 2 there into the back straightaway. Fastest go or go homer is Nemechek, and Blaney won't quite be there. He has a past third place start and fourth place finish here, and Blaney will race tomorrow night, 27th overall, 21-27.
Good solid run, man.
Yeah. What's Despain say on his show every Sunday night? Help yourself to happiness. That's another one of their slogans. And Blaney has done just that.
Yeah, when we left Talladega, I talked to Tommy Baldwin, and he said all we can do right now is evaluate where we are after Kansas. And mainly that was evaluating, do we get a sponsor or not, and they did do that.
Yep. Hard work rewarded. Good for them. Michael McDowell from Glendale, Arizona, driving the 66. With K-Love, that's a radio station. Christian-oriented, very inspirational station, heard in markets all across the country. And let's see what Michael, in his fourth attempt here at Richmond, did not make either race here in 2010. See if he can put this car into the show. He's got to beat 21:51 to do it.
Yeah, he's going to be in on lap 1.
Good lap. 30th for McDowell at a 21:35. He will race tomorrow night. Boy, he flew that thing through 1 and 2.
Yeah, the way that thing jumped up there through 1 and 2 was amazing.
And he could be the fastest of the go or go home crowd. He will be for now. 21st for Michael McDowell with a 21:21. Car owner Phil Parsons. Now, Phil is the first guy to tell you, if you're in, why run that second lap? We just found out why. They're going to start 21st.
I mean, you just look at the drivers that he just beat. Earnhardt Jr., Biffle, Johnson, Stewart, Kenseth. I mean, that's a lot of good race car drivers that Michael McDowell just out-qualified.
You saw Brian Keselowski's volunteer crew pushing his car up the line. 3 cars to go. Mike Skinner's car also being rushed out to the qualifying line, as is Mike Skinner. And this will be David Stremme, brand new race team. The owners are stock market investors that specialize in startups. Inception Motorsports, with Steve Lane, the crew chief, Gus Larkin with the team. David Stremme is the driver. The owners are twin brothers from Boston, Tim and Todd McSweeney. Huge Celtic fans. They have floor seat season tickets. Celtics play the Heat on Sunday, so they'll be there maybe after they make the show here. Let's see.
Well, they made it already on lap 1.
And I'm going to tell you, Stremme gets around this place good. If you go back and look at places that he ran well when he was driving for Penske and driving for some of those places, this was one of the places that he was tough to beat.
How about this? Look at this. By far the quickest go or go homer.
16th for David Stremme with a 21:19. Now that's the way to make a debut.
Beaten and banging. You've never seen a NASCAR Nationwide Series race like you're going to see it on Speed.
Live from Richmond, tonight, 7:30 Eastern. Presented by Nationwide. Brought to you exclusively on Speed.
Hi, this other store has these for 20 cents less. What?
Match it.
Match it. Match it.
Match it. Match it.
Match it.
20 cents less.
What?
Just match it.
Match it.
Match it. Match it.
Match it.
Match it.
Match it.
Match it.
Match it.
Match it. Thank you. Got it. I'll match that price right here. Oh, cool.
We won't be beat. We have low prices every day on everything, backed by our Ad Match guarantee. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
Amanda had 3,000.
If you're living with diabetes and have Medicare or private insurance, here is some great news. Call United States Medical Supply today, and we'll send you the smallest glucose meter in the world, absolutely free.
It only takes a
speck of blood, and it gives me my results in 5 seconds.
And there's no coding for easier, more accurate results.
Don't let diabetes get in the way of living. Give us a call today at United States Medical Supply and get the smallest meter in the world for free.
We are the face of Comcast.
I'm a perfectionist. At least I try to be.
At Comcast, we solve problems.
If we don't resolve the problem the first time,
We'll extend a courtesy service to our customers.
you're a customer, you deserve it.
If you're a new customer and you're not satisfied with our services,
You can get your money back in the first 30 days.
It's a phenomenal thing to offer to our customers.
we're only as good as our word. And our word is good.
Whether it's giving you a $20 credit if we're late or 30 days to try us out, at Comcast, we're all about the customer, and that's always guaranteed.
And Keselowski in the K-Racing Dodge. Brian recovered from gallbladder surgery, back behind the wheel. Right now the quickest go homer is the EchoStar Chevy of David Stremme, 16th overall, and Keselowski's got some work to do here. First lap 22:23.
Not going to get there.
Nope, he needs half a second. Not going to get it. 21:90. That will lock Tony Raines into the show in his Ford and leaves Keselowski on the hot seat with just one car to go.
And with one car to go, what's amazing is Montoya's on the pole at a 20.98. Right now, Tony Raines is just barely in this show at a 21.51, just right at a half a second.
Which is about what we expected, was a half a second would cover the field. And so many drivers tied to the 100th of a second. One car to go. Who goes? Who will go home? Stay tuned.
Look outside. It's grow time. So let's plant some perennials that'll turn up every year. Trees and shrubs to give us depth. And fill it out with flowers placed in just the perfect place. Let's spend less, but plant more. What do you say we plant a weekend, water it, and watch a summer spring up? More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. We're lowering the cost of putting down some roots. Get 1 gallon perennials 3 for just $10.
If you've been waiting for a reason to go to the movies,
we got a job. We're talking $100 million.
We've got 5.
We just jumped to the top of the wanted list.
5 times the action.
You just take out a bank?
5 times the excitement.
This is big boy stuff.
5 times the fun.
I think I'm in love.
It's the best of the 5.
This is how we do it.
Fast and Furious 5. Rated PG-13. In theaters and IMAX now.
Truth is, if you don't have your motorcycle insurance where you have your car insurance, you're paying too much. At Allstate, when you combine, you save up to 30%. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects the rider better than Allstate.
This is more than a ticket. It's a wallet-sized definition of who you are and where you belong, providing both a place to sit and countless chances to stand up for what you believe in. It's a rite of passage, a declaration of independence, and an invitation to discover 43 new heroes and 100,000 new friends. This is more than a ticket, because it says as much about you as any piece of paper can. Reserve yours today at NASCAR.com/tickets.
One of the most exciting nights in all of motorsports.
It's a good night to get even with somebody.
This race is like no other.
You've got to be fearless.
We're not racing for points.
These guys are laying it on the line. No holds barred. Let the rough side drag, folks.
It's one wild night.
The NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, Saturday, May 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Final qualifier is Mike Skinner, the big red Toyota, who won the pole here in '99 with Larry Mack as crew chief, and also in 2003. 2 Truck Series wins. His wife Angie's birthday is today, and Mike Skinner will race tomorrow night. 21:39 on the first lap, 21:33 on the second. He is 32nd, and Brian Keselowski is the one driver who will be disappointed today. Juan Pablo Montoya has his 7th career pole and his 2nd of the season. He and Regan Smith will share the front row. Matt.
Juan Pablo, another pole. Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, it's exciting. You know, our target Chevy has been pretty good. We've been pretty good this year, all year long, and it's the second pole of the year, so I'm pretty pumped.
Mike?
Best career start for Regan Smith, who will start on the outside pole. His previous best was third earlier this season. Boyer, Kane, Martin, the top 5. 4 Chevrolets and Casey Kane's Toyota up at the front. Fastest Dodge is Keselowski. Fastest Ford is Edwards in 8th.
And that's, I still say, impressive lap by Casey Kane to still be in the top 5 and was the 5th car to go out.
See Denny Hamlin back there on row 6.
Dale Jr. quickest in practice, but disappointed in qualifying.
Kyle Busch, he's won the last 2 spring races. Way back in the field. Look at Jimmy Johnson back on row 15.
This is going to be an interesting first 50 to 100 laps to watch the comers and goers.
Of the go and go homers, Stremme quickest, McDowell second fastest. They're here to race. That's why, Blaney took that second lap. They're here to race. McDowell and Brian Keselowski is the one driver who is disappointed and will head home without making a show for tomorrow night's Crown Royal Matthew and Daniel Hansen 400 that you will see live on Fox. Tonight you're going to see the Nationwide Series live right here on Speed. Congratulations to Juan Montoya on his Sprint Cup Series pole. Now to Chris Devoto, who's going to talk about what's coming up this evening here on Speed.